recommence the meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So I've had confirmation that all parties have now read the additional statements. So before we begin, can I just ask everyone to introduce themselves? We'll start with the police, please.
My name is James
Good
Rankin.
morning.
I'm so sorry. My name is James Rankin. I am representing the police, who today are spearheaded by Vicky Hewison.
Good morning, Chair. I'm PC Vicky Hewison, licensing officer for Ealing.
And I'm Sergeant Dimitri Kassar, the line manager for Ealing Police on the licensing sector.
Yes, good morning, everybody. My name is Noel Samaru. I'm representing Mr. Ahmed. I'm from NTAD Licensing Consultants.
I'm Rohan Ahmed. I'm the premises license holder and DPS for Shorfa Limited.
Thank you. I will now, in accordance with procedure, I will now invite the police to present the application.
Thank you. Now, I am assuming that the papers have been read. And this then is the allegation. It was a matter of violent disorder, which is conceded by the operators as a serious incident. It took place on the 9th of June last at 22:40 in the early evening. It involved Mr. Ahmed, his brother, and two friends, one of whom was a solicitor. All four of those gentlemen were arrested for offences of GBH, threats to kill, and there was one matter relating to the possession of drugs, which is still outstanding. These are the facts. The police received a call from one of the victims of this incident at 22:41. The allegation was that he and his brothers were being attacked with weapons. The call operator could hear voices in the background saying this, and remember that the victim was alleging that the attack was still going on. Voices were heard saying, "I will kill you, I will stab you." Now, there was another call which was made 1 minute later at 22:42, and that was by Mr. Ahmed. The police position is that that was a self-serving call, that Mr. Ahmed was attempting to cover his tracks by making a counter-allegation that he himself had been attacked. The arrival of the officers discovered three victims who were covered in blood. Two had visible head injuries, one had deep lacerations to his head. First aid was administered by officers, and what was seen were defensive wounds to the arm, bruises on the arm and the elbow. And one of the victims alleged that he was hit on the head with a hammer and the bat, and that the four suspects were inside. Indeed, what the officers saw was that the shutters to the premises were pulled down and that the premises were closed. When the London Ambulance Service arrived, the males inside, who included Mr. Ahmed and his brother and two friends, tried to lift the shutters, and they were told by officers not to do so until the matter had been dealt with. Now, having read the submissions made on behalf of Mr. Ahmed, it's clear that the position of the police and Mr. Ahmed are poles apart. What Mr. Ahmed is suggesting is that the CCTV indicates that the incident itself was a matter of self-defense, that the individuals, Mr. Ahmed and the three others, were the victims of a sudden and unprovoked attack. An analysis of the CCTV shows that that is demonstrably false. This is the timeline. At 22:38, one of Mr. Ahmed's friends goes to retrieve a baseball bat from a car positioned outside. He brings it into the premises, and the four of them sit calmly at a table discussing matters. One of them picks up the bat and looks at it. 2 minutes later, at 22:40, the victims enter the premises. Mr. Ahmed is shown by the CCTV to be standing in front, and his friend and brother is behind, holding the bat. The fight is instigated by the friend of Mr. Ahmed, who pushes one of the victims, and a fight then ensues. All parties trade punches, including Mr. Ahmed. It's not suggested that Mr. Ahmed was swinging the bat, but his friend certainly swung the bat multiple times against the victims. And Mr. Ahmed is seen as throwing punches. The outside view of the premises shows one of Mr. Ahmed's friends going back to the car and retrieving another, it's believed, baseball bat. And that is during the course of the fight. And then an internal shot shows the baseball bat lying on the table and one of his friends walking around with the baseball bat. The origins of the fight are murky, but some truth may lay in the fact that the victims had been thrown out of Mr. Ahmed's premises the day before over some allegation of a fight where one of the victims is alleged to have accidentally hit somebody's face on the dance floor. And what the victim says is that he was asked back to the premises to discuss matters with Mr. Ahmed. That rather puts a different spin on what is said by the operator today. What is being said by the operator today is that the completely unprovoked attack, they had no idea that it was happening. In came these people holding a bat. We retrieved the bat, and using the bat and using a shisha pole acted entirely in self-defense. But we say that that is palpably false, that it's perfectly clear that Mr. Ahmed was expecting these victims, and that ties in with the suggestion of the victims that they have been asked to come to the premises, because 2 minutes before they arrive at the premises, they must have assumed that they were on their way. Mr. Ahmed's associate retrieves the baseball bat from the car. So it's, I regret to say, an untruth to say that they had been the victims of an unprovoked attack. Now, it's also true to say this, that Mr. Ahmed has made his own cross allegations rather late in the day. He doesn't say this at an early stage, and he is alleging that the victims have assaulted him. Tellingly, that allegation was made 8 days after this incident, on the 17th of June. You remember that the incident itself was on the 9th of June. And whilst Mr. Samaru, on behalf of Mr. Ahmed, presents Mr. Ahmed as somebody that cooperates with the police, whilst I can say that these are not what the police would call a problem premises, Mr. Ahmed is not, in the view of the police, somebody that has been somebody that has assisted them in the past. And by way of example, I point to a licensing visit on the 20th of April last year, when on a during performance licensing visit, the licensing officer was assaulted by Mr. Ahmed. It's not a serious assault. Bob Deere, who was the officer, chose not to take matters forward. But it's an indication that Mr. Ahmed is not always the person that is assisting the police. And the question is this: what should be done? Can I just backpedal a bit? The submissions put forward on behalf of Mr. Ahmed say this, that there is no supporting evidence that Mr. Ahmed intended to facilitate the attack. Yes, there is. There's the evidence of the baseball bat being retrieved. There's the evidence of all four of them calmly sitting around a table, waiting for the victims to arrive. Premeditated and intended. Nonsense to suggest that there is no supporting evidence that Mr. Ahmed intended to facilitate the attack. So what to do? Well, in the short term, clearly the police are suggesting that the premises license should be suspended, pending a full review, when I will be able to place before you the CCTV footage. At the moment, it's not high quality. That is not going to be improved by the passage of time. But what will be the position at the resumed hearing for the full review is that we will be able to show you a proper timeline of the CCTV. At the moment, it's one long clip from various cameras, and we want to show you a storyboard evidencing what we allege. Insofar as the resolution at the full review, well, that is a matter that will be dealt with on the full review, but the initial view that the police take is that they would be seeking revocation on the full review. Can I just say this, that I regret that my officer is away on annual leave as of tomorrow. Other officers will be attending to the CCTV, and it's hoped that she will be able to assist them before she goes on annual leave. She will be back from annual leave. If you're looking for a date for the resumed hearing, she will be back on the 16th of July, and we would ask you to list the full review hearing on dates from the 17th of July onwards, if that helps. Now, I've got Vicky Hewison with me, who's able to assist on any of the additional detail and any questions that you may have. But I was planning to leave my presentation there, unless I can assist further.
Thank you, Mr. Rankin. Before we go to questions, I'll just check if Ms. Hewison or Sergeant Cassar would like to add anything.
No, I think James Rankin has said everything. Thank you.
Great, thank you for confirming. Okay, we will move to questions. I will allow the premises license holder or his representative to begin with their questions. So, Mr. Samaru, over to you if you have any questions.
Yes, just a few, Chair. Thank you very much. It's obviously been a difficult situation here because we have not been given access to any CCTV whatsoever. The hard drive and everything was removed from the premises that evening, and Mr. Ahmed or myself have not been able to view the CCTV. Which seems to be what everybody is obviously basing their information on. So I just wanted to make that point. And was there any particular reason why The first incident that occurred was 10 days ago. And I found it a little bit surprising that a summary review is brought 10 days later and the premises is allowed to trade. They traded very well for the last week. They had a busy weekend last weekend with no incidents whatsoever. So how this is purported to be a problem venue was a bit beyond me.
This is only at this stage.
But I have no questions as such. There were a couple of statements I wanted to make that we hadn't seen the CCTV. That was the main thing.
Mr. Samuel, you'll have an opportunity to make a statement shortly.
Sure.
If you have
Thank
any
you.
questions for Mr. Rankin, please feel free to ask them now.
At this stage, no. I think Mr. Rankin has made his point. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Ahmed, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask them of Mr. Rankin.
I was just wondering if Mr. Rankin could shed some light on this incident he referred to on the 20th of April with an encounter with Bob Deere. How, why, where, and the scenario, the situation surrounding that, because we have no knowledge or recollection of any such incident. So I just need a little light shed on that, please.
I can certainly help. There was an enforcement visit to your premises. I can't give you a time. I can give you a date. It was the 20th of April. And Bob Deere was just one of the officers that were there. And during the course of the visit, you became heated and you pushed Mr. Deere, which technically amounted to an assault. I simply wanted to put that before the committee so that they got the full picture of the operator of the premises, not necessarily somebody that is cooperative with police.
Thank you, Mr. Rankin. Mr. Samuel, can I ask that you keep your camera on throughout the duration of the hearing, please? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Ahmed, do you have any further questions?
More a statement relating to Mr. Bob Deere, or something to highlight that if I can. If this is the incident that I believe it is, it was the initial visit by OPDC and council. I believe I have that on CCTV, and I believe you will see Mr. Bob Deere actually grab me by the throat and push me up against the wall. It's on the camera. You will see police then separating him, removing him back from me. And I believe it was me who decided not to pursue that. And I believe you had other council members, Mary that was there as well, and the other members from the OPDC, after which I gave them a full tour of the premises, and Mr. Deere was asked to leave the property, if that is the incident that you're referring to.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmed, for adding that statement. We will try and stay on course with questions alone at the moment, please. You will have an opportunity to make a statement later on in the hearing. Colleagues, do you have any questions for Mr. Rankin? Councillor Gallant, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, Mr. Rankin, this incident on the 20th of April, you said it was 20th April 2024 when you were speaking. Did you mean 2025? Or because I mean, this license has only been in place since January 2025.
No, the license has been in place for some time. Yes, I meant 2024.
You meant 2024. Okay, can we just check when the license was actually in place?
Sorry, can I just, I might be able to clear this up for you. There was a variation submitted, so that license is due to the variation for later hours.
Okay.
So that's why it's with that date on it.
Okay, so we're talking about the same premises, same DPS, yes. And the date was the 20th of April 2024.
Yeah, they submitted
when this incident occurred. Okay, so Mr. Rankin, do you want to just say anything more about that? Have you got anything else to say about that, or have you...
Other than the way that the crime has been recorded, or the incident has been recorded on the police computer, is at variance with what Mr. Ahmed has just said.
Okay, no further. That's fine for me. Thanks. Great. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Gallant. Councillor Mahmood.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just wanted to get one clarification for me. So when the police arrived on that, so why police declined to see the footage straight away there and then, that would be arrested.
The police didn't decline to see the footage. The police wanted the parties separated. The police position was that they should, Mr. Ahmed and his 3 associates should remain behind the shutters of the premises. But no, we didn't decline to see the CCTV. We seized the CCTV.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from my colleagues? No, thank you. Mr. Rankin, can you just clarify for me, do you accept that Mr. Ahmed did cooperate with the police on the premises? Did he provide CCTV? Did he provide his phone and the PIN code, etc.?
Vicky will be able to help more than I, but certainly on the evidence that I have, he didn't seek to prevent the CCTV being seized. He didn't seek to interfere with the search that recalled, and I haven't dealt with it, but you will recall that in the papers there's some suggestion that items were seized that might be drug related. 100 pills were seized. Mr. Ahmed says that they were supplements. We have yet to analyse them, so that matter is left up in the air. But I have nothing to indicate on the evidence that I have that Mr. Ahmed was uncooperative. Is that a fair summary, PC Houston?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Councillor Gallant, did you have a further question?
Yes, I did, Chair. I did. Sorry, I should have asked it before. And it was about the drugs, actually, so, or the alleged drugs there. So, Mr. Rankin, you've answered that for now. Are we then? They haven't been analysed, but Mr. Ahmed was arrested for that. That was part of his arrest. So, I have a question. And in the experience of the officers, was this incident carried out under the influence of alcohol? Did they think it was carried out in an alcoholic environment, should we say, or abusive alcoholic environment?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. That's fine for me now. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Gallant. Councillor Mahmood, you have your hand up. Do you have a further question?
Yeah, Chair, that was more or less the same question as Councillor Gallant asked that. So if the police haven't decided yet about the conclusion of the drugs you are holding. So this is, as you said, this is still up and down.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Mahmood. Thank you. I have no further questions, so I will now allow Mr. Ahmed or his representative to make your representations.
Yes, as I said, good morning, everybody. This is such a very unfortunate incident that has taken place on a premises that has had a premises licence, as Mr. Rankin said, for 18 months. They've operated for a year and a half, no incidents whatsoever at the premises. Chair, you are quite right that we went for an extension of hours, I think back in January of this year, and I think Councillor Gallant was on that committee, and the extension of hours was granted. As I've said, they've never had any issues in the past, and I think it's ridiculous to suggest that they've laid in wait for people that were there the night before, that he doesn't even know them, how he would have contacted them and asked them to come back, and have his solicitor there and then to attack them in his premises on purpose that he actually knows is going to be under camera, I think is a bit of a stretch of the imagination. Mr. Ahmed was a target of aggression. Mr. Ahmed's view is that the incident happened the night before. That was the catalyst. They removed the gentleman and his father actually from the premises. This gentleman then, it was about closing time. This gentleman then proceeded to phone the police and said basically that he'd been stabbed repeatedly on the premises. So, of course, the police responded immediately. They, when they got there, they spoke with the gentleman who had not been stabbed or threatened, and basically said to him, look, you're loitering here. If you don't disperse from the area, you'll be arrested. The people then left. At roughly 20 to 11 the following evening, Mr. Ahmed was having a meeting with his solicitor regarding an unrelated business conversation. And as you've read the papers, and I don't want to go over it again because you've already had the opportunity to read it, these gentlemen entered the premises forcefully. Mr. Ahmed and his brother and the solicitor and a colleague were sitting at a table discussing business. A female employee came over to him and told him that these people have entered the premises forcefully, and it's the gentleman from last night. Mr. Ahmed and his brother got up to speak to the gentleman, and a fight instantly ensued. I think it's very difficult with just relying upon CCTV evidence exactly what happened. But as far as I have been made aware, that is what happened. It became very violent. Tables got turned over. I think a glass door got smashed, and eventually Mr. Ahmed and his brother and the other gentleman managed to force them out of the premises. They did sustain themselves significant injuries. One of them got a broken nose, and Mr. Ahmed had been punched repeatedly, and it was quite a fall going on inside. So they pushed them outside of the premises, shut the shutters, and called the police. When the police arrived, they obviously saw the people outside, interviewed them, and based upon their recollection of what's happened, the police then entered the premises and arrested everybody inside, including Mr. Ahmed's solicitor, who was there on a business meeting. And that committee is exactly, as far as Mr. Ahmed is concerned, what took place. But more than this is a premises that has had no incidents, no crime, no antisocial behaviour, nothing for 18 months. And in fact, for the first year, we came back to committee and asked for extra hours, and it was granted, and nothing has happened ever since then. So this is the first time that any antisocial behaviour has taken place on the premises. But we do acknowledge, and I think it's right for us to acknowledge, that this is a very serious incident. But we strongly refute, the allegations that the premises in any way or the management were responsible for instigating or facilitating any type of violence. I've asked about this baseball bat. I've been told that it was taken away from one of the perpetrators. The metal rod is actually a shisha stand. So it was, there were many of them lying around in the premises, and somebody grabbed that to try and defend themselves. It was an unprovoked attack, and they acted in self-defense. Mr. Ahmed wishes to clarify the challenged misrepresentation and affirm the willingness to work constructively with the police. He asked the police if they wanted to view the CCTV. He gave them willingly his mobile phone. I think, I'm not sure if they had body-worn camera there or not that night, and he asked if they wanted to see the CCTV. The police said no, they wanted to take it away. So they took the hard drive and everything away, which obviously makes it difficult for anybody else to view that. As I said earlier, I haven't had an opportunity to view that myself. Mr. Ahmed and his group, all they did was to get up from where they were having their business meeting and speak to these gentlemen who had forced their way in and pushed the female member of staff out of the way. And that's what happened. And as I said before, I think it's a bit ridiculous to think that you're going to invite people into a licensed premises where there are cameras and everything, and then to attack them with your solicitor there. I think that is a bit of a stretch in the imagination. However, why is it that this statement was made? And I put it to you that what else are they going to say? Why were they there at 10:30 in the evening when they'd been thrown out of the premises before? Why were they there? That is a question you have to ask yourselves. And I put it to you is that they were there to cause a problem for this venue. They weren't happy about being ejected the night before, but when asked, they had to give a reason why they were there, and they said they were invited back. I haven't seen their statements, and obviously there's a criminal investigation ongoing, and I'm sure that at the full review, a lot more about this will come out. The drug allegation is ridiculous. Mr. Ahmed, and I'm sorry, Chair, that I didn't have time to send those in this morning, but he has got invoices. He bought these things from Amazon. They are supplements. And we have the invoices to show you, but we'll save that for the full review. The previous conflict that has led to this was mainly because these people were upset about being removed from the premises the night before. But having said that, we do feel that this has highlighted a few shortfalls in the operation of the premises, and that things do need to be tighter. That Monday evening, there were no customers. They were very, very quiet. In fact, they were considering closing early. But during the week when they're quiet, they don't have, they feel, sufficient security. So I know that the police are asking for the premises license to be suspended until the full review. This is effectively a revocation, because if you close this premises, he is out of business. And for a premises that's been operated for 18 months without any incident, and one incident that is for you to decide in your minds who instigated it and what the reasons behind it were, is obviously down to you. But we'd like to put to the committee that, as I said, it has identified some shortfalls, and what they are proposing is to hire an outside accredited SIA security team that will also operate during the week, whether they have customers in there or they don't. To install an upgraded CCTV system, as Mr. Rankin said, it's maybe a bit grainy and not very clear, with 31-day footage and retention that can also cover outside and inside. They've already signed a contract for an ID scanner so that they can identify, if anything ever was to happen in the future, they can identify the perpetrators, because they have to scan their ID before they could gain entry. They will provide the police with real-time CCTV access if they require it, and they wish all their staff will go on to a mediation, safety training or conflict management, but that is to be advised. So without going over everything that you've already read, really, committee, that's my presentation to you this morning for Mr. Ahmed, and I'm open to any questions, and Mr. Ahmed is as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Samaru. Mr. Ahmed, do you have anything you wish to add?
No, Chair, that's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Mr. Rankin, I will give you the first opportunity to ask any questions if you have any.
No questions, thank you.
Thank you. Officers, do you have any, PC Hewson or Sergeant Cather, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Colleagues, Councillor Gallant, I see you have your hand up. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. So I just want to ask Mr. Ahmed, were these visitors who'd been ejected the night before, when they came back, or indeed the night before, were they drunk? Was this an act? In your opinion, were they drunk? That's the first question. And the second question is, if they appeared on the night of the incident, and they'd been there the night before, and the police had been called the night before, did you call the police? Did you think of calling the police before this incident took place?
So on the night they were ejected on, which was the Sunday night, Monday morning.
That's right. So Sunday they were ejected by the police.
Yeah, that's right.
And there was no fracas. I'm talking about the next night. Did when they came back and you maintain that they came in forcefully, did you think of then calling the police before you engaged with them?
It was a matter of seconds. Literally, they pushed their way past the girl, and I think within a few seconds of us standing up, they threw punches, and to be honest with you, the rest was a blur. I don't really remember much after that until we closed the shutter.
Okay,
all I know is about a barrage of punches to the head.
Okay, so who used the weapons? Who used which weapon?
No, as far as I'm aware, I don't think any weapons were used. I haven't had a chance to review any CCTV footage, but from my vantage point, or from where I was, afterwards the door was broken. The glass door was broken as well. We have a table at the front as well, which was pushed aside as well. I myself suffered from a concussion and severe injury to my jaw and the side of my face. The reason why it took me so long to report it to the police was I spent 1 day inside, or a day and a half inside the police station until I was interviewed. I was released. I went to go see my family. I then went to the hospital to tend to my own injuries. I then went back to work, obviously concerned for what had happened there. And then as soon as I dealt with that, I went and reported it to the police. I don't know if anything was used. I haven't been able to talk to the other people involved in the party. It's a condition on my bail, which means basically I'm not able to speak to my brother or my colleague or my solicitor. So I haven't been able to ask these questions to them. As far as my understanding is, no weapons were used. Everything happened in that instant. It would be really good if you guys could actually review the footage yourself, to be honest with you, and we could as well, because my original fresh recollection of this incident is as described by Noel.
Are you saying that there was no baseball bat involved at all?
To my knowledge, no weapons were used.
Okay, thanks. Nothing at the moment. Thanks, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Gallant. Councillor Mahmood, do you have any questions?
Yes, Chair. In addition to what Councillor Gallant has asked, so I would not go again on that point, but so you were Mr. Ahmed, you were the first person during the incident. So actually, the first contact with this incident and police, so that was you, basically. You called police.
I called police, yes.
Nobody else before you?
I do not know if the other side called the police or when they called the police. As far as my knowledge is this is the chronology of this event was they forcefully entered. They attacked us. We managed to push them out. We dropped the shutter, hence why the shutter was down. So we, in fact, created distance between us and them. The moment the shutter came down, I called the police. That can all be seen on the CCTV as well. They can be heard. As for these cries of attacking and stuff that can be heard on the phone, I believe they can be heard on my police call as well. And it was them that were in fact threatening to hurt and kill us. So, I mean, Mr. Rankin alluded to something being heard on the phone. You can clearly distinguish on the call that it was them, not us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No further questions from colleagues? Great, thank you. Okay, Mr. Ahmed, sorry, just on this very last point that you've made, you're saying that the victims forced their way into your premises and you pushed them out. Can you describe the
So-
incident in terms of the throwing of punches, etc.
Okay, so they came in, they punched my colleague. They then turned to me and punched me. I punched back. At that point, as far as I was aware, I think 3 of them were punching me at one time. After which I kind of bent down to protect myself. As I got back up straight, they had moved back towards the shutter, and we pushed them. We gave them like a last final push back. We pushed them out and dropped the shutter, and we called the police.
Okay, thank you. How many members of the public were in the premises at the time?
There was only us and them. There was not a single member of the public. We like Mr. Samru said, we were actually in essence, I think we were going to close within moments.
Okay. So it wasn't that you hadn't allowed any members of the public in, it was just that there happened to be no members of public there at the time.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, Monday is pretty much like that all the time.
Okay. How many SIA security officers do you normally have on a weekday or a weekend, please?
So on an evented day, it can be up to 3.
Okay. And on a standard day, like that Monday evening?
None.
So if there was an unforeseen group of, say, 50 people that arrived on your premises, what would you do in that instance? Would you look to run security yourself, or do you have a process in place?
We have a firm that we normally use. We would phone them and they would send someone over. And they're relatively quick response because they're within the Parkwell area.
And how many SIA officers would you request in a situation where 50 people might arrive?
I would probably ask for 2.
2. Okay, thank you. Are you the sole DPS for this premises?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Great. So can I ask who was manning the door on this particular evening, please?
On this particular evening, there was no one here, and we, like I said, we were about to close. The only person who was standing near the reception counter was a female member of staff.
Okay, so who would check somebody's ID on that night? For example, if, say, 5 or 6 people decided to turn up, you don't know who they are. Presumably, you have a process. What would happen?
It would either be the relevant member of staff. It would be her, or it would be me. In this particular night, it would have been her.
Okay. So she was the person manning the door at the time.
For that brief moment, yes.
Okay.
At the point when my solicitor came, we all sat down for a meeting. Like I said, we were considering closing. So it kind of naturally just happened. It was organically, it happened. She kind of moved towards the reception, and we all sat down for our meeting. And at that point, they came in, and this trouble ensued.
Okay. Did you have any other employees working on the night behind the bar, for example, or a music stand or something?
No, there were 3 female employees, myself and my brother and my colleague and my solicitor.
Okay, it's quite a lot of employees for a quiet night.
The thing is that there were 3 female employees, myself, my solicitor, my brother, and the other manager were there just solely for the meeting. We see no one wants to say something. Sorry.
That's okay, Karen.
Oh yeah, and we were just there for the meeting.
Okay.
And we were considering closing as well. What they were doing was deep. The girls were actually doing a deep clean inside the kitchen, and she kind of naturally moved in when she saw that I had moved away. It was a natural course of events that just happened over a few moments. Normally, I would have just dropped the shutter when I move away, but it was just literally an organic moment that happened. She came out, she stood there, I moved in, we were greeting each other, we sat down, and this all happened. Literally, this happened within moments.
Okay. So can I just check, is this usually the standard for, say, was it a Monday night, I believe? Monday night, Tuesday morning?
We have a male member of staff, and we're not usually open that late on a Monday night, Tuesday night. On non-event days, we close early anyway, and we do have a male member of staff who happen to be off as well on that day.
Okay, so just to check then, on a standard average Monday night, you tend not to have any visitors, or you do tend to have customers come? What's the average? What's normal?
10, 15.
So is it unusual that you had no customers on that particular Monday night?
On a Monday night, no, it was nothing that it was nothing out of the ordinary, no.
Okay.
Our main body of customers come on our evented days where we like have music or something. Or
Okay. I think that's most of my questions for now. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed.
Can I just ask for one clarification, please, Chair? And I'll ask Mr. Ahmed to answer the question. The gentlemen that came in on the Monday evening, were they all the same people that had the problem on the Sunday night?
no. So the leading gentleman was the one that was ejected from the venue. The other two I had never seen before. And in fact, the leading gentleman I had only seen the night before as well.
And because you mentioned to me that the other two gentlemen looked like cage fighters.
Yes. I mean, given the accuracy and the strength of the way they were fighting, it indicated they are professional fighters.
Okay. I'm just going to take us back a step. So, Mr. Ahmed, this isn't the normal procedure because we should be at questions now, but I'm going to give you the opportunity to just make a statement about those individuals that came, how many they were, and their manner and exactly what ensued there.
Okay, so there were 3 gentlemen in total, 2 of them well built. They came in and they laid off punches very, very quickly. Their punches were very accurate in terms of the parts of the face they were hitting, and the strength at which they were hitting. They did cause a lot of damage. After 2 punches, I was shielding and covering myself. I felt punches from all over. They were very, very forceful punches. Very strong in strength. They were able to move me. I'm nearly, I would say about 100 and something kilo. They were physically able to move me around. So they were very strong in that respect. And that would be my recollection of that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmed. I'm just going to check if there are any further questions following that additional statement. Councillor Glenn, go ahead.
I mean, Mr. Ahmed, you've read the police report, have you, or not?
Yes, sir.
You have. So are you saying, I mean, it is clearly stated there, and it's clear that, you know, I would read out, the friend collects, this is what is seen on CCTV, and unfortunately we can't look at that. The friend collects a baseball bat from the vehicle parked outside of the premises and brings it inside to where the group are sitting. The bat is examined by the group and then given to Mr. Ahmed's brother.
It's inaccurate. It is a shisha stem.
So did the shisha stand come from the car or the venue?
So he did bring in a new shisha stem. You can clearly see it on the camera. It is part of shisha, basically. It's what we have there. It's a new one he wanted us to try. And I don't even believe, I think it just stayed on the table. So the thing is, we're going on a transcript of a video, as opposed to seeing the actual video. You see the actual video, you'll be able to see it for yourself.
We haven't seen the video.
Actually came. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that he went out to get what he got from the car was a shisha stand.
I don't believe he went out. I believe he entered the premises, bringing it and showing us, like, hey, look what I got, kind of thing. As far as I remember, he turned up, he had the shisha stem, he was like, hey, let's try this one. And then they pretty much walked in almost straight away. It was so quick and unexpected. We were in the midst of well, him and my brother were in the midst of discussing that, and I was talking to my solicitor. So it wasn't something we were all sat around looking at or discussing or something. I was in mid-meeting with my solicitor. He came in, he greeted us, and he handed this to my brother and said, hey, what do you think about this stem? We tried these out. and then the rest happened.
Okay, so can I ask you, I mean, there was obviously a public order issue that night. What did you get wrong in terms of public order? What do you think you got wrong that night?
In terms of public order,
Yeah, you're responsible for the venue.
I feel that we should have at least had a member of security there, a SIA license badge holder there.
Vice Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Glenn. Any further questions from anybody else? No. Okay, thank you. So we will move to summary statements. So as per procedure, Mr. Samaru or Mr. Ahmed, you will now have an opportunity to make your summary statement.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. Just to summarise, as we've said before, my summary would be that this was a one-off situation. It wasn't a collaboration or anything other than Mr. Ahmed said he's sitting there having a meeting with his solicitor. His brother and the other member of staff are looking at a shisha stem they're looking to introduce into the club, and these gentlemen came in and started this disturbance. They have disputed the claims about the weapons, about the baseball bats. He said that as far as he's concerned and he's aware, they never existed. I can't make a great deal of comment on it because, as I said before, I haven't actually seen the CCTV. There was a public safety issue that evening where they didn't have any security, hence why the proposed measures we put forward are to have SIA accredited door supervisors every day of the week, upgrade the CCTV. As Mr. Rankin said, it's very difficult to see what exactly is going on. The ID scanner that they have already signed the contract for, that will be installed within the next day or so, is a must, and that will be operated by an SIA registered door supervisor. The police will have access to live CCTV if they wish. And I don't know how Vicky feels about that, but it's something that some of the other boroughs do have. And a commitment to the committee that all his staff will go on a conflict management and conflict resolution training if you feel that is necessary. The most important thing here, councillors, is that this has been a venue that's never had a problem. And for this one situation that was not their fault, they could lose their business. If you decide to suspend this licence, they will go out of business, and they have worked extremely hard for 18 months to make a success of this business, and in these difficult times that's not easy, but they have, and they've been doing quite well. So I would like you to take a proportionate response to this and not suspend that license, but allow them to put in the mitigating measures that they have suggested, with a view to staying open until the full review hearing in 28 days' time, when we will have obviously more information. Hopefully we've all been able to see the CCTV at a better time, and obviously Mr. Rankin will have more time to have a look at all of the information, as will I. So I wouldn't like the committee to make a decision based on half truths, half information, which would be very, very, I think, unfair to a premises that has tried very hard to fulfil all the licensing objectives over the last 18 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Samaru. Mr. Rankin, over to you for your summary statement.
The difficulty that Mr. Samaru faces is that he has not seen the CCTV. And he can only act on the instructions that he was given. Now, on the instructions that he was given, he created the submissions, which were sent to the committee this morning. And when you retire, have a look, please, at what is said about the baseball bat and the shisha pole. It's on page 2 at paragraph D. Claims that the incident was premeditated are denied. The baseball bat was in fact taken away from the perpetrators, and the pole was a shisha stand. This was introduced in the heat of the moment and were not part of any plan. Now, just pausing there, what Mr. Samaru has just said to you is that the baseball bat never existed. On his own submissions, he's acknowledging that the baseball bat existed. In other words, Mr. Ahmed has given him instructions that the baseball bat did exist, but the explanation for its presence there is that Mr. Ahmed took it off the perpetrators. And then recall, please, what Mr. Ahmed said to this committee. He said this: I don't think that any weapons were used. There were no weapons used, said Mr. Ahmed. So where does the truth lie? Well, the truth lies in the CCTV, which Mr. Samaru hasn't seen. And of course, he's relying on what Mr. Ahmed is telling him. Mr. Ahmed, first of all, told him that the baseball bat was taken off the perpetrators. So Mr. Samaru makes that submission in his written submissions. And then Mr. Ahmed, noisily engaging reverse, says that there were no weapons used. And so Mr. Samaru has to say, the baseball bat never existed. It did exist. And you will see at the resumed hearing, one of Mr. Ahmed's associates wielding the baseball bat several times. It's nonsense to suggest that it was not used. The question about conditions, because I wouldn't want you to think that imposing conditions is the solution to the expedited summary review, because it's not. The existence of an ID scanner or an upgrade of the CCTV or safety training and conflict management wouldn't have prevented what took place that night. In our view, a premeditated attack. The settled intention to assault the victims who were coming to the premises. The witness them sitting at the table examining the bat just before the victims come in. So please don't think that the solution to the expedited summary review is to impose conditions rather than suspension. Mr. Samaru says this, that imposing a suspension kills the business. They will be out of business. They won't be. They can still open to 11 o'clock. They just can't serve alcohol, and they can't provide any regulated entertainment. And it's only for an interim period until the full review takes place. So any suggestion that if you suspend the license, you will be closing this business, brackets permanently, is refuted. His suggestion that I called the police first, said Mr. Ahmed. If you look at the timeline, no, he didn't. The victims called the police first. And if no baseball bat was used, how on earth do you explain the lacerations to the head and the head wounds of the victims? Deep laceration in one instance. But that wasn't caused by punches. So there we have it. I will have a better timeline, and you will be able to see the CCTV in good time for the hearing of the full review. But for the present, this is a man, quite frankly, that should not be in charge of licensed premises. It doesn't matter how much conflict training he receives. His solution to the victims coming to his premises and the way that he treated them is indicative, we would suggest, including the behaviours of his associates that evening, is indicative of a failing in the management of these premises that is not going to be solved by the installation of an SIA or a door scanner. So please suspend the licence temporarily, and then we'll deal with all matters at the full review. Thank you. Those are my submissions.
Thank you, Mr. Rankin. Before we retire to deliberate, I just want to clarify the proposed measures going forward so that we have all the information before we make our decision. So the proposed measures are as outlined in part 5 of the submission that was made this morning. I'll just read them out again. Hiring a full SIA accredited security team during operational hours, installing an upgraded CCTV system with a 30-day footage retention that can be live streamed to police, installing an ID scanner, providing police with real-time CCTV access, live access, engaging in mediation or safety training for all staff. Can you kindly confirm, Mr. Samaru? Or
Yes,
Mr.
that's confirmed, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, the committee will now retire to make its decision. I expect we'll be back. I think I'm going to ask for about an hour, if I can be honest. So we'll say about 1:30, please.
Certainly.
Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.